Cell organelles are all the components of cells that carry out the functions. There are two main types of cells in eukaryotic organisms, plant and animal cells. There are many organelles that the two cells have in common, but there are also some differences. We will start with the organelles that they have in common. All cells are surrounded by a plasma membrane which contains the cytoplasm of the organelle, in the organelles. The plasma membrane is a phospholipid bilayer that keeps the cell intact. The heads of the phospholipids is hydrophilic, which is water-loving, and why they are facing out. The tails of the phospholipids are hydrophobic, which means that they don't like water, which is why they're facing in. Having the phospholipid bilayer provides a needed protection that helps the cell be selective in what comes in and out of the cell. The mitochondria is the energy provider for all types of cells, or the powerhouse, and makes the majority of the ATP. The mitochondria has two of its own membranes, the outer and inner membrane. The inner membrane is folded over to have more surface area to be able to do more work. The matrix is the fluid that is inside of the mitochondria. The mitochondria also has its own DNA.
Both plant and animal cells have a membrane-bound nucleus that is basically the brains of the cell and also hold the DNA. Inside the nucleus is a nucleolus that makes the ribosomes. Animal and plant cells both have an endoplasmic reticulum. The endoplasmic reticulum is used as storage and is the packing system for proteins. There are two kinds of ERs, the smooth and the rough ER. The smooth ER is mostly used for storage and the creation of storage for steroids in particular. The rough ER is used because it has ribosomes that are attached to it. The proteins that are made in the ribosomes that are attached are mostly synthesized and packaged here. After the ribosomes connect all the amino acids, the chain of amino acids goes through the rough ER. Also, in both kinds of cells, there are ribosomes. Ribosomes make proteins that might be used as enzymes or might be used as support for cell functions. Ribosomes make proteins that connect amino acids together. They can be found in cytoplasm of the cytoplasm of the cell or the rough ER. Both cells have vacuoles, but the structure and the function of the vacuoles are different in two cells. Vacuoles usually hold water in the cell but can also hold other nutrients. In plant cells, there's only one large vacuole that takes up a lot of storage. It can take up to 50%. In addition to holding water and nutrients of the plant cells, the vacuoles help with the structure of the plants. The amount of material in vacuole influence how strong the plant is and helps the plant stay upright and healthy.
In addition to the cell membrane, plant cells also have a cell wall for extra support. Animal cells do not have this. The cell wall is made up of cellulose, which provides support and protection to the cell. The cell also helps maintain the structure and shape of the actual plant and also allows plants to grow very tall like trees. Cellulose and the cell wall is the reason that plants are hard and firm to the touch, while humans and animals are much softer and spongy to the touch. Another organelle that only plant cells have is chloroplast. Since plants are not heterotrophs and do not eat food, they have to make it for themselves, and the chloroplast does just that. One area in the chloroplast is the thylakoid stacks. These thylakoid stacks have chlorophyll that sits on the outside of the stacks. The chlorophyll is what makes plants green, and it sits on the outside to absorb the sunlight needed to produce the food. In the chloroplast, there is also the stoma, where photosynthesis occurs, where the food is created. The sunlight absorbed in the thylakoid is used in the stoma to carry out photosynthesis. Photosynthesis makes food and oxygen by sunlight and carbon dioxide. One organelle that only animal cells have is centrioles. Animal cells have two centrioles, and their main purpose is to help with the division of the cell. The centrioles work during mitosis as well as during meiosis. The centrioles are made up of microtubules and are usually resting by the nucleus. While the centrioles are at rest in the cytoplasm, the pair is called the centrosome of the cell. The centrioles now know when the cell is about to divide, and the one pair of centrioles duplicates itself to make two pairs of the centrioles. When it is time to divide, the two pairs will move to opposite poles of the cell to begin to pull it apart. The split parts of the chromosomes will move towards the centrioles during anaphase, and once the cell splits, the centrioles go back to resting.